Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition is the next version of the excellent CRPG. Isn't that right, Jake Kulkowski, who's sitting here with
Mike
me?
Williams.
Mike Williams, who said my name before I could say it. The base game, Divinity Original Sin 2, launched back to critical acclaim, you might say, in September last year. A game created by Larian Studios. And this is an old-school style role-playing game where you control a party from kind of a top-down perspective. It's got turn-based combat, but it's almost unique in the amount of interactivity you have with the world. And there's a great sense of personality and charm to it as well. Well, the game's just joined the Xbox Game Preview program on May the 16th, which means Xbox players, they have the chance to play the first 3 hours of the game in Microsoft's equivalent to essentially early access, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's free, so any Xbox player can jump in and try that out. That's a good chunk of the game to get a sense of what's going on, isn't it?
For sure, yeah. 3 hours of any game will at least give you an understanding of the basic mechanics. This is one of those games where the whole genre, like CRPG, this traditional style, like Dungeons and Dragons pen and paper thing, 3 hours with it, you'll straight away be able to understand whether or not you like the idea of inventory management and putting your points into attributes and perks and skills. And the story, it's got quite a few hooks actually in the first 3 hours of gameplay. It's like 4 months before the PlayStation can play it, so that's awesome, and it's essentially a free demo.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Those who actually buy the game on Xbox One also, they get access to the entire first act, which is about 20 hours of content, and that is a big slice of the game, and that really does give you a sense of what the game is. And the way the game's built is the starting area and stuff is completely pitched as like a microcosm of the fuller game, because it gives you it just gives you a vague objective like, oh, do this. And you have to figure out how, and you just talk to people, and
it's a by any means necessary type of story. Exactly. And I think when the game came out, it was in early access for a year on PC.
Yeah,
it was the same situation. People who had early access backed it could play the first act, which is the equivalent, by the way, of 25% of the game, they reckon.
So all that's happening, but here is the main headline, I guess. The game will be pretty different by the time it launches in full on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in August of this year.
Yeah.
Different how? Well, it's going to be known as Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition, very much in the vein of what happened with the first game. There was an enhanced edition.
The title did need to be longer, didn't it?
Yeah, there wasn't. What I thought was there wasn't enough words, and they just blew it out of the water. There's another 2 words, Mike, and
it adds to the depth of the lore, doesn't it?
They've done it again. Both versions of the game will actually exist on Steam, so you'll be able to launch and play either one, which is the case with the first one. So you can. It's the first one. That's complicated, but the first Divinity Original Sin.
That's right.
There's 2 versions in my library, and I can play either one. I can play the enhanced edition or the original one. So there you go. That's happening, and there's actually going to be a lot of changes. It's going to be completely free to those who already own the game on PC. You'll just get another version of the game.
Great.
Free of charge, which is great.
Awesome.
Larian Studios says it will be making thousands of changes to the game. That's what they said. Thousands of changes. Console publisher Bandai Namco said at the Judges Week event for E3 this week that the game's third act is being completely overhauled quite significantly now. Larian is going to be rewriting stuff, redoing some of the script, new voices added in, updating characters, and I think all this revolves mainly around the Arcs storyline, which is a little bit divisive.
Yeah, so that's the last. So like there's 3 acts in the game.
Yeah.
The first act, which is the one you can play early on the Xbox at the moment, that's about 25% of the game. Act 2 represents about 50% of the game.
It's a big chunk, isn't it?
And then Act 3 is the last quarter of the game.
Yeah.
So basically the last quarter of the game is where all of those sort of points of contention and a lot of the critique has been revolving around. So the fact that they're like revamping that whole bit, it seems like a bit of a Final Fantasy 15 kind of job where they took the feedback on board. There was specific chapters of Final Fantasy 15, for those who don't know, that had a lot of question marks floating above people's heads.
If I remember.
I think it was, unlucky. And then they fixed it out a bit, didn't they? Made some changes to keep it in line with the rest of the game, and it seems like Larian Studios doing that here.
That's exactly what they kind of said, that they want to bring that up to the standard of the rest of the game kind of thing. The game journal, the in-game journal, is actually getting a complete rewrite as well, which I love. They're just not happy with the way they worded the quest logs and stuff, and they're rewriting it because they want it to be clearer and more concise, which is brilliant. I really like that they're doing that they're bothering to do that and really caring about the writing, because some heathens will just click through that stuff and not care.
Yeah, exactly.
but they're actually going to go full whack and rewrite all of that. They're adding a new party inventory option, which sounds amazing, which should stop you having to flip through individual inventory screens. There are a lot of screens in this game, aren't there?
There are, even in inventory. In fact, we played it when it came out. We did a video on it. You might have seen it. Hopefully you have. And if not, go and watch it because it's really good. And we're playing it again now, actually.
Yeah.
And there's that thing where I can see everything in your inventory. And you can see everything in my inventory, but we can't. So I'm going to go, Mike, can you send me this? Mike, can you send me this? So the fact that we can send it all into one pool, could be useful.
That's a quality of life thing. I can't really see the downside of it. And if you work it out by because obviously there's got to be a limit on how much things you can carry, but if you add everyone's weight or carrying strength together and do it all in one pool, I don't know how exactly you're going to do it, but that kind of thing feels like it makes perfect sense, especially if you're playing co-op.
Yes.
Because it just makes everything a lot easier to manage. And if I pick up, a lot of the time you'll be picking up weapons and stuff that you can't or shouldn't be using. And you end up passing things around the party a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't actually find it that bad, but a lot of people do find it really annoying that, I guess it's, especially... the reason that they're doing this, I assume, is because it's a little bit more long-winded on a console.
Definitely,
to go
got to be
through square by square in the inventory. Whereas when we're playing it on PC, we can go quick enough.
Yeah, it's not like it's the kind of thing that I didn't think about until they said we're gonna be doing this unified, and then I thought, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Surely it's going to improve things. So that should be interesting. There's also going to be a new tutorialized kind of set of information and stuff to introduce new players to it.
Yeah.
As well as there already is kind of an explorer mode, but it sounds like
they're making an probably even more accessible version of the game, because I mean we're playing it on regular, normal, and I did the Divinity Original Sin on all difficulties, and it's hard. There's no way you'll be able to. I played Divinity Original Sin, beat it on all difficulties, and on this one on regular mode, and because of the armor system, it's quite challenging. So
it is.
This one, the challenge is great if you want it, but for those that want a bit more of a casual experience, adding a more casual mode seems to just be, more options are always better, really, aren't they?
Yeah. So the normal mode is called classic mode as well. It's not even implies that it's average in any way. It's just that is how it should be played, and that means you need a lot of knowledge. You need to be making the right decisions. If you're playing in co-op, you need to discuss things and know. Plan things out and stuff. So there's a lot of thought in the combat, and if you're not that bothered about all that and just want to explore the world and click on things and cause a bit of mischief, then you can do that in a new explorer mode. There's also going to be new DLC, Sir Lorna the Squirrel, which will be free to existing PC owners. But I don't know if that's the only bit of DLC or what, but it's a bit vague. So the way it's kind of been reported and discussed. So there's more content, essentially, more content coming.
Yeah, that seems interesting, because I thought very much that this would be a standalone game. Obviously, there's like the Dungeon Master mode or whatever it's called, where you could just you can load in custom campaigns, create your own campaigns. They've given the editor out, the map editor, you can make your own levels. So I thought because of that functionality, I didn't know if they'd be supporting it with any official additional content, and that they are, and it's going to be some sort of existential crisis revolving around a squirrel. That sounds good to me.
Fingers crossed.
Count me in for that. Yeah.
Overall, pretty big upgrade. And I'm, it would be enough to. We're playing through it in kind of like a co-op campaign now. This is more than enough to make me want to replay again and see what else is going on. Yeah. It's just that kind of game, and you can play it so many different ways, so many different characters and party combinations, do things differently within the game as well. Yeah. It's certainly, and the fact that it's all free, it's quite good, isn't it? It's quite a good.
People talk about Rockstar and CD Projekt Red and stuff like that. I don't know what it is, why people sleep on Larian Studios, but they're missing it, because
it's a £30
haven't
game.
Messed up since this game came out once. I mean, it won critical acclaim. It was PC Gamer, who were like the authority on PC Game of the Year. Game of the Year. It was my Game of the Year if you follow the channel. Like, everything that they could have done and did do for a crowd-funded independent game. Yeah, the fact that they're giving it away for free and they're not charging a little bit extra. Normally, the standard is a discount. If you've got Divinity Original Sin 2, you can pick up the special definitive edition for 50% off. That's normally the standard.
That's Dark Souls. That's how they're doing.
That's how they're doing it. Dark Souls as well. Yeah, I can't remember if I think Skyrim was actually free as well.
If you had all the DLC.
That's it. Yeah.
So you needed all the pieces of DLC, and then you got it for free.
This game famously no DLC up until now. So.
Well, yeah. So there's a lot coming. We don't really know in terms of specifics yet, and I can tell you actually. That Larian Studios is going to release full details of it to Kickstarter backers sometime before E3. That's according to US Gamer. Apparently as well, the list of changes is 45 pages long in Larian's internal documentation.
Wow.
So that is some set of patch notes.
Yeah, that's big.
So that should be, a couple of weeks worth of reading for me.
It'd be very different, huge, and a great point to jump in if you're a console player. Because the thing about this is I played Divinity Original Sin 4 times on console. I love the console version. I'm going to get this again just to play it on my sofa, and it works incredibly well. You don't think these CRPG games would work very well. Party management, it's a very mouse and keyboard game, especially with the inventories and stuff like that. But the amount of radial menus that they sorted out with the L1, R1 bumper buttons, that it was great, and I'm looking forward to them doing this one again with little quality of life things like party inventory and stuff like that, because that was the only thing that really slowed me down on the console. So I can see why they've not put it on sale so far, because they haven't had to, and it looks like they're going to ride another year of success on the back of this now.
It's not the kind of game where you get 30-40% off. That's not how they do it, and I feel like that is how they can justify all this, giving this stuff away for free, because that game maintains its $29.99 price tag almost constantly. It does come down by 10-20% or whatever every now and then.
The Original Sin 1 on Steam right now was $29.99.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a very interesting way of doing it, and I've got to say I quite like it, because it comes out at kind of a reasonable price, and it just keeps that price for a long, long time. And then so people will continually buy into the game rather than having to sell DLC on top of it and stuff. So there you go. One little note as well: the way they announced all this to begin with was with a lovely little video on their YouTube channel featuring Feedback Billy.
Oh my gosh!
Who's an actual
acting?
Who's an actual? Oh my god! Yeah, the developers at Larian Studios having a bit of a laugh and just kind of doing this kind of scripted
it'll be on the
performance.
Screen, won't it? From Larian Studios
snapping his fingers, and we'll put a link to in the description if you want to watch it, because it is kind of pretty endearing actually if you want to watch it. I mean, they're quite a likeable studio, aren't they? Just seeing them do that kind of stuff.
We've both said this in different occasions, but it is like Lionhead Studios when they were in full swing. Yeah,
there's just something about them that it's just there's got that appeal to them, and so they've added this character Feedback Billy, who's an actual character in the game. Mainly for Xbox players who can speak to this character in order to share their feedback on the early access version of the game, and they've done that by just adding a character in, which is quite nice. You can also apparently fight him if you want.
Oh, great! Because you know what? Sometimes when I'm on the phone to T-Mobile or something like that,
you wish you could fight them.
That stupid survey at the end, how satisfied. I'd like to punch them. So the fact that I can punch Billy if I want to,
brilliant. with a variety of skills and talents at your disposal.
Yeah, maybe not even punch, just teleport him into some fire. It's all sorts.
So that's Divinity Original Sin 2. There's quite a bit of news. It's coming to console, and it's available right now for free for the first 3 hours for Xbox One gamers. So if you've heard about this game and it's getting all this acclaim on the PC, you don't know what it is, then you can literally just give it a spin for free for 3 hours and see what you think of it. And I'm assuming there'll be a lot more details to share before E3, as reported by US Gamer. So let us know what you think about all this down in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe if you happen to enjoy the video. There should be another video on your screens right now if you want to watch that, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next time.